Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie, and today we are back with another mukbang. I thought I broke something. Okay, welcome back. Today we're doing Applebee's and Panera. Listen, I don't know what came up in me, but I was like, I really want Panera, but I also want some Applebee's, and that's what we have. We've got their Applebee's crazy loaded waffle fries, their honey chicken tenders Alfredo pasta, their chicken wonton tacos. This is the Panera spicy chicken burger. We have the Panera mac and cheese, and on top, we have stuffed that mac and cheese bowl with mac and cheese grilled cheese. Are you kidding me? Then we've got a broccoli cheddar mac and cheese in a bread bowl. We've got an onion ring tower. This is some sort of quesadilla. It's a burger quesadilla from Applebee's, and then Applebee's sugar donut holes. So we're gonna dive a food coma, and I just want to say that we went to go pick up the food earlier, and I was balancing the giant bags of food in one hand, and I had my phone and the drinks in the other hand. Do you know that sometimes I will put the drink on my phone just because I like to balance it, and he thinks it's the most ridiculous thing ever, and it's very, very like dangerous and clumsy, and I'm already clumsy, but I like to balance the drink on my phone. It just makes sense. The lady was getting super anxious every time I do this. Even my mom gets anxious, like somebody gets anxious. She's like, oh, watch your phone, don't drop anything. And jokes on them, because I am more nervous about dropping my food than my expensive phone that has my whole entire life on there. And it's because I use a Casetify phone case. Here's the thing about Casetify that I love, is that they have top tier products and they still try to make it even better, which is why we have the new Bounce case. This has been highly requested by a ton of Casetify's customers, so they delivered. Listen, it is the most protective case I've ever seen. It has these four corners, these four bumpers on the corner, and they let the case bounce when you drop it. And you're like, what does that even mean? That means they are drop test approved up to 21.3 feet in the air. I've dropped that phone off my second floor to the first floor of our house, and it's completely fine.
Honey!
I mean, you really have to go out of your way to drop it that high. And it looks so sleek, and they have all these fun different cases. Casetify has over 2,000 prints to choose from, and they work with artists like all around the globe to help curate cases for you. And you can even customize your case if that's what you want. And I love that the cases just feel like an addition to your outfit. They're like an accessory. They look unique. They look cool. But look, if you're like, I want simplicity, Casetify has these clear cases that use UV Defender tech to block UV rays for anti-yellowing. It is drop test approved up to 6.6 feet in the air. It's got 360 protection, and it's super slim. But if you want something in between, I love Casetify's Impact series. Super slim, super fun, but also can be dropped from 11.5 feet in the air. And I just love how cool they look. Casetify also has cool accessories like phone straps, screen protectors. I love them, but I recently ordered a few more cases. So make sure to get yourself your new favorite phone case. Go to casetify.com/bis to get 15% off your order. That's casetify.com/bis to get 15% off your order. Thank you, Casetify, for sponsoring today's video, and let's get into it. I gotta glove up for this one because it looks very intense.
The honey glaze looks so good.
This?
Is that honey glaze?
Oh no, the chicken tender you mean?
Yeah.
The quesadilla burger.
It's a donut.
It is a donut.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Alright, I'm gonna try one of these. Is this tacos? Or
Wonton tacos.
would you guys like one? Here.
Yes.
It's crispy. Watch
Waffle
out.
fry?
Here. Oh. For you. And one for me.
It's literally a burger. The bun is literally it's just a quesadilla.
Is it good?
That's it. Yeah. It tastes like more like a burger to me.
Oh my god. That is so good. Wow. Fantastic.
맛있어.
맛있어.
Wow. So good.
How's my Korean pronunciation? Is it good?
It's hot.
You think people are gonna think I'm Korean?
I've been waiting to try this magnificent creation. And it's dipped in mac and cheese. I'm gonna take this one.
Ooh.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh my god, it's all cheese.
It's just all. I don't know how. I wonder if it's gonna be good without any crunch.
How is it? Is it just mac and cheese?
But it's pretty good. I'm kind of surprised. I love Panera mac and cheese. I probably shouldn't because it's probably not real mac and cheese. I'm obsessed with Panera. I don't know why Panera gets such a bad rep.
What? Their salads are so good.
Yeah, their salads are good.
Why are they getting a bad rep? Are they basic?
Yeah. And they're getting expensive.
That is true. They're pretty pricey.
Applebee's or TGI Fridays?
What's that?
Or Chili's?
What's TGI Friday?
Yeah.
You never had Fridays?
I don't think so. Yeah.
We need to order TGIF.
Wow. It's like Applebee's, but better.
Or Chili's. Chili's got some good stuff.
What's that?
You remember Chili's? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. No. Both of you guys were stressing me out for a second right there. Okay. These chicken wontons are incredible.
That's probably my favorite.
Wow.
Go for onion rings.
Here. Dip the onion rings in this mac and cheese. Because this mac and cheese is so creamy. Oh my god. Look at that.
Saucy.
Oh, I used to go to Panera with my mom all the time.
Like after school?
Yeah, and we'd sit there and gossip almost every day. I was obsessed with Panera. I would get a Mediterranean veggie sandwich, my favorite. We would gossip and she'd get a you pick two.
What's that?
It's like half a sandwich in a soup.
Yeah.
Or
Bro,
chips, bread.
They have a weird ass menu, I'm gonna be honest with you. A hotel in Germany. A secret operation has taken place. It felt more like a heist than anything. Suzanne met with a secret man in an underground parking lot. Opens up her trunk. And she's like, I need your help. Guy goes over to help her. The suitcase that she's getting out of her trunk, it was heavy. It weighs more than 88 pounds. What do you think was in there?
Human body.
Human body? 88
A
pounds
child.
is a very light
I
body.
mean, it
But
can
a
be.
child.
It can be like anyone.
Or like decomposed human remains.
Maybe like livers and things like that.
Less flesh, you know, more bones.
88 pounds.
Yeah.
A dog.
A dog, a dead
Like,
dog.
that's a big dog.
Like alive or dead.
Alive?
A suitcase with a dog in it. What are they gonna do with the dog?
They're selling the dog.
Oh, black market dog. It's like a stallion. You know, they sell like horses for a lot of money.
How much?
Sometimes.
Horse?
Did you know what's the most expensive liquid in the world?
We talked about this many times.
Liquid? Can we drink it?
Well,
Yeah.
you could, yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't drink it, but you might drink it.
We don't judge.
We don't judge.
Well,
It's-
maybe we do.
It's very expensive, so.
Yeah.
Oh!
What?
Yeah.
Horse sperm.
Yes.
Horse sperm.
Oh, we
Horses
did talk
can be
about this.
millions of dollars.
Alright, time to go grab a horse.
Yeah, like a really good, well-bred horse can be millions of dollars. But it wasn't a dog, it wasn't a horse. It was, in fact, okay. How much do you think $100 weighs?
Half a gram.
So how much do you think $1,000 weighs? 10,000. How much do you think $1 million weighs in cash?
Oh, is it in $100?
Yeah, it's in 100 bills.
Oh. it was
What's the most amount of cash you've held in your hand? Cash.
like 2,000?
Oh,
1.5?
that's impressive. Okay, then. All right.
Yeah.
I used to work in a cash office though, so
Oh, yeah.
that's why. Yeah.
So she counts cash for the whole grocery store.
Yeah.
Dang.
Like it was like stacks on stacks on
And
stacks of
it
money.
was a bougie grocery
you felt
store.
Rich, huh?
So
Yeah.
basically every day, tell them about Brinks.
Oh my god. So every day I go in, I have to reset the tills, is what they call it. So there's only allowed to be $200 of cash in there. And then I have
Each
to
cash register.
Yeah. And then I have to reset it, and then I have to put extra money. So we have to have backup, but then I have to put extra money for Brinks to pick up, which is a guarded cash picker-upper. And they go deposit it into the grocery store's bank account. And dude, they're so scary. They roll up
So
in
it's like
a
an armored
fucking
truck
armored truck.
with guns and shit.
Yeah. And then they come into the cash office, and like it's a whole process. I have to open and it's like a coded door, and then they come in, and then I gotta undo the vault, but I can't let them see the vault numbers. So it's like a whole thing. And then in the vault, there's another safe. Yeah. And then like once I take the cash, I have to like sign off a bunch of things.
Yeah. Stephanie was in high security.
You were
level.
alone?
I was pretty much like in the Pentagon, basically. The Pentagon of
She
the
was
grocery store.
the CFO.
Hey, you should apply for Pentagon.
I was the CFO of that location. for
But
sure.
wasn't there a scam?
Yeah, there was a lot.
There was a fake brake truck. Was that?
Yes. Oh, okay. I forget the details of this because we weren't hit with it like that. But,
I heard she
yeah.
told me. So I think it was something like a fake truck came to pick up the money. So imagine there are like those armor truck from the bank. They come pick up the but they were fake.
No, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
There was a
And they
fake
gave the
police.
cash to them. They drove off. And 10 minutes later, that the real truck came. They're like, "Where's the money?"
Bro.
It
could have been me though, because that's some shit I would do.
Holy shit.
I wouldn't even.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so scary.
So what did the company do?
Nothing. What can they do? They have to like file a report and stuff. But I mean, what are you gonna do? Go after them?
I mean, isn't there like CCTV and stuff?
Yeah, you just
but-
provide it for the police. But at that point,
Yeah, but you know how police are.
at that point, it's a loss. Yeah, that grocery store was weird, really wild days. And then we used to like take people's returns. They wanted us to trash the returns. So when people return stuff, you have to trash it. But like sometimes they return like $20 lotions.
Or it's like brand new.
Yeah, it's like a little used.
Can I use it?
So people will grab it and take it home.
We'll just grab it. And
Employees
the
will
managers
grab
were like, most of the managers were really chill.
So you took a lot of lotions?
Yeah.
Bruh, so much soap
many
and lotions.
Yeah.
Hey, you're
Yeah.
saving some money right
But
there.
and then so it's like every week it's a new soap, new lotion.
But then our grocery store was fucking redonkulous,
Wow.
okay? So nice. People were returning grapes. You know how the grapes come in the bag? And on the receipt, they bought like 5 pounds of grapes. So it's like, I don't know, $15, okay? But there's only 2 grapes in the bag. And they'd be like, it was all rotten, so I threw it away. And then I was forced to return it. Yeah. I mean,
2
I don't
grapes.
care. It's not my money, right? But they would just have 2 grapes, and the managers were like, we have to return it. And I just thought it was so comical. So anyway, how much do you think $1 million is in weight?
I'm assuming 88 pounds.
No.
More than 88 pounds?
No, not even a pound.
$1 million?
$1 million?
In $100 bill?
Bruh,
$1 million?
$1 million? You know how many hundred
that's
that is?
1,010.
But I don't even know how many hundred that is.
Okay, that
A
is
million?
a lot
How
of
many?
bills.
Yeah, how many hundred is that, guys?
Okay, divide it. Let me divide it. Okay.
Oh, that's you just count the. Okay, that's like
Just take out a 0.
1 0?
take out 2
No,
zeros.
2 zeros.
Yes. So how many
that?
zero is left?
Like 10,000, right?
Yes. How much does it weigh?
I'll say like 2.7 grams.
2.7 grams?
Yep.
Bruh, that's
Okay,
like
then.
2.7 grams of weed. Think about it. 2.7 grams of, I don't know how else to think of grams. But think of it in terms of the devil's lettuce.
10,000.
Thin.
Okay,
Think about
it. One
10,000
book.
is like
one book is about 400 pages on average.
Okay.
That's 400.
Oh.
You're talking about 10,000.
5 pounds.
Okay, let me do the math real quick. So let's say one book is 400. 400 times 2 is
Soon after.
10, 15 pound. $1 million.
$1 million in cash is 8 pounds.
8 pounds.
I was close. 10 pounds, I said.
You guys were both close. The suitcase was 88 pounds.
Dang.
So that's 10 million. 11 million.
$11 million in cash was in the suitcase.
What did she do?
I don't even know. Okay,
She just robbed the bank.
88 pounds. They take out the large suitcase and they load it into his rented Audi A6. He kisses her on the cheek and he drives off. Later, the whole world would be confused at this very incident. The CEO of BMW Germany giving $11 million in cash and stuffing it into the trunk of an Audi. What the f is going on here? What the f is going on here, okay?
He's switching up.
Oh yeah, so let's talk about it. Maybe they're, playing for the other team. Are they for Audi? Are they for BMW? What's going on? Who are these people? Do you guys believe in soulmates? That's where we gotta start.
I do.
Yeah. Potentially.
I
maybe,
do.
Possibly.
Do you guys believe in chance meetings that feel like a higher power? Like, you ever feel like, wow, this person, I can't believe I met them. I would never have met them otherwise, but it's almost like someone wanted us to meet.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Do you believe in those? Leave it in the comments. Like, sometimes chance meetings are so out of this world, though, right? So for Susanne, it was when she was reading a book. She's sitting in this high-end exclusive resort, sitting in the sun with the beautiful mountainside in the background near the pool in Austria, one of the fanciest resorts in the whole area. And she's reading this book, The Alchemist.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
I read that.
And a man wearing glasses approaches her. That's my favorite book. His voice was low, smooth, felt buttery soft. You read this book? I grew up in the author's native Brazil, so reading his writings was a must. This book was like the Bible to me. Taught me that one must have a dream. And if you keep working hard on your dream, it will eventually come true. Susanne looked at her book, then looked at the man in front of her, who was honestly pretty hot, right? Then looked back at her book, and it's almost like he had taken the words right out of her mouth. He had taken the breath right out of her. I'm Helg Scarby. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but when you see someone reading your favorite book, you can't help but interject.
So smooth.
And the rest of the day, they talk about the book, they talk about life, they talk about everything, they talk and talk and talk and talk, but it wasn't enough because the next day they want to pick back up and they want to talk to each other more. Susanne and Helg were the perfect match, but there were a few problems, okay? Susanne was married and had kids, and Helg, well, he knew that Susanne would be at the pool. He knew what book she would be reading. He had made sure to study The Alchemist before approaching her, and that's when everything went to Okay, you're probably like, who the f*** is Susanne, right? Susanne Klatten is not a household name. If this was a game of trivia, I wouldn't even know. Like, is she an actress? I don't know. A singer, perhaps. Maybe she invented the flushing toilet. Her name doesn't even ring a bell in my head. And it's not supposed to. Her whole family pays top dollar to stay out of the news. They are very, very private people, and they want to remain private, even though they are incredibly important people. Susanne Klatten is a billionaire. She is the 56th richest person in the entire world. She has a personal net worth of around $24.5 billion, and that's just her. That's not including her brother.
Who is this? I've never heard of her.
She owns a major stake in BMW.
Oh.
She owns also 50% stake of a chemical firm called Altana. She lives in Germany with her family, and they are all super, super freaking rich. From the day Susanne was born, think about it. The day she came out of her mother's womb, Susanne was the richest woman in Germany.
What the?
The minute she was born, imagine that. You're a baby, 2 years old.
You're set for life.
Richest woman in the country.
Wow.
She would grow up to be the head of the German sector of BMW, and her father was a famous German entrepreneur who bought BMW when it was failing, and the family led BMW to the top.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And later, as an old man, you think that, Herbert would live his best life in retirement, spending as much quality time with his family as possible. No, that motherfucker was sitting there debating and pondering about how to split his wealth up. Yeah, he had 3 wives, a ton of kids. But amongst all of his marriages, he liked his 3rd wife the most. And he liked Susanne and Stefan the most. Those are his 2 kids with his 3rd wife. So they would naturally become the true heirs to his throne, to his kingdom succession. Once that was settled, it was pretty easy to divide his assets. Susanne would get less because she didn't have a peen. She would only get 19% of BMW's shares, and Stefan would get almost 25%. That's still a lot of shares, okay?
Only
Like,
19.
even 1% of shares in a company is like...
So she's the princess of BMW.
Yeah, and Stefan would also become BMW's vice chairman of the supervisory board. So it's a bit unfair, but it's not the most misogynistic thing in the world. Maybe there was another reason, I don't know. Regardless, Susanne put her whole all into it. I'm not saying she didn't have it 1 million or 24 billion times easier than other people, but she did work really hard. She got her master's in business management, business administration in Switzerland. Fancy stuff. What's interesting, and it's giving movie vibes, but after graduating college, Susanne landed an internship at BMW, where she was known as Susanne Kent.
Oh, she hid her identity?
She hid her identity.
Like Clark Kent.
Hid her identity to prep for succession. She wanted to cosplay being at the bottom, and I sound salty, but I swear I'm not, okay? It seems that everyone that knew her said that she was an amazing intern. Like, fellow interns loved her. They thought she was fantastic. She was smart, worked hard, maybe even harder than everyone else. I mean, she did really well. They had no idea that she owned 20% of the company, and it was wild. She even met her future husband as an intern. His name was Jan Klatten, and he was an engineer for BMW.
Shut the fork up. Imagine that.
They dated for 2 years. And he found out at a company meeting when Susanne was being named, like, vice chairman of the company.
Wow.
that was his girlfriend that he didn't know was literally the heiress to BMW.
I bet the husband was like happy, but at the same time like,
What the
holy, what's going on?
It's like the
How
debate
can I-
question.
It's like the debate question.
Is it better if they hiding if they're rich or poor?
Oh yeah,
She
we
hit
did
that
talk
she's
about
rich.
It's better to hide, I think.
Yeah.
That she's rich.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I bet he's very happy, right?
So she was named the company's president after being an intern, and everyone was like, holy she's the Susanne, the richest woman in the whole country. And even though everyone loved her as an intern, I mean, of course there was going to be pushback with Susanne inheriting the business. A lot of people wanted to hate her, and I'm sure her track record wasn't perfect, but she did a lot. It's said that she is credited to leading BMW to be even more prosperous. So she did wow a lot of people. After that, she put her whole heart and soul into her work, and then she got 50% stake in Altana, the chemical company. It wasn't doing that great when she got it, but that was okay, because under her leadership, they start gaining traction. And together with her brother, they're like the power siblings. I mean, yeah, okay, they were born into it, but they really did a lot of good work. And surprisingly, for how rich they were, they really didn't do fancy stuff. Listen, I'm sure they lived in luxury and comfort and never really had real life stress of like wondering when their next meal was coming from or like how to pay the power bill. But they were not rubbing elbows with celebrities. They were not going to Met galas or huge fundraising parties and trying to rub elbows with politicians, at least not in public spaces. They barely accepted media interviews. They never tweeted. They weren't active on social media. They were really, really private people. And there's a lot of speculation as to why. So the family was obviously really wealthy because if their dad bought BMW, even when it was failing, that's a lot of money that you have to buy a failing company, like a car company.
Yeah.
Their grandfather made a lot of money during World War II in Germany. And let's just say he didn't make the money on the good side. So I can see why they are private people because, you know, they would get torn apart in media right now, which, you know, honestly, I don't even judge people for ripping them apart, but they laid low and it made sense why. Until 2007, they were front page news everywhere in Germany, around the world, and it had to do with Susanne's vacation. She went on a luxurious spa vacation in Austria. Now, she's 45 at this point when she's reading The Alchemist, right? Mm-hmm. And she's like, I just need some alone time. No husband, no kids, just me, right?
What year was this?
This is 2007.
Oh, it's recent.
Yeah. No BMW cars.
Not recent then?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like anything after 2000 is recent.
Really?
Yeah. I guess I'm older,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
right? Some people say, I wasn't born yet.
I think anything less than decade is like recent.
I don't know. I'm still fixed on that 2000 mark for me
Me
at
too.
least.
Really?
Yeah, anything after 2000 feels like recent time.
So she's like, just me and the great pools and spas and the good book. The scenery, out of this world at this resort. It was in the mountains. All the resort goers are rich or famous, and all part of the upper echelons of society. And at the pool, she has a romantic chance meeting, like one of those movies, with Helg Skarby, a 44-year-old Swiss-Italian man. Susanne finds out that Helg grew up in Brazil, moved to Switzerland as a teenager to study at the University of Zurich. He was fluent in 6 languages. He worked at a Swiss bank working on mergers and acquisitions, but he also worked for the Swiss government. Helg was pretty transparent from the get-go. He opened up to Susanne about how he had just gotten married to a Swiss woman just the year before, but the marriage ended and he was, pretty torn up about it. That's why he's on this vacation. Suzanne probably wanted to tell him about her life and her marriage, but she didn't, at least not the specifics, even though she was into him. Suzanne was taught from a young age to never reveal too quickly who you are. It's just been ingrained in her, right? You just end up attracting the wrong kind of attention. So for the rest of her vacation, the two of them, they were attached at the hip, hiking in the mountains, eating together, chatting it up. Suzanne said he was charming and attentive, but also slightly melancholic, which made me feel like we both had something in common.
What does that mean?
Like kind of had
mellow?
like this
Calm?
sad vibe about it.
Rich and sad.
Yeah. Some old money vibes,
Just
bruh.
like too much money now.
Too much pressure? Or
Too
whatever.
much sadness. What else can I buy?
They're like, more money, more problems. You're like, okay.
They wipe it with $100 bills.
Yeah, and you're like, can I get a tissue? Are those your tissues? Can I get one? Nothing sexually really happened because, you know, Susanne is married. And before she left, she's like, here's my number. Call me. I gotta get back to work. I gotta get back to reality. And reality hit so hard. Suzanne's back in Munich. She's telling herself, okay, you're married, you have 3 kids, stop this. But she could not get him out of her mind. So she texts him, I miss you.
Ooh, scandalous.
And they pick up where they leave off, texting each other, calling each other. And within just 3 weeks after meeting at the resort, he flies to Munich and they schedule a secret hotel meeting. And they have sex with each other. And Susanne finally reveals who the hell she is. And Helg was shocked that she was the richest woman in Germany. I mean, yeah, right? Who wouldn't be? But I think at this point, Susanne just felt happy that the secret was out and she could be completely honest with him. Susanne's in her 40s, but she's felt deeper and deeper in love with Helg. She resembled almost this teenage girl who was falling in love. They talked about literally everything, really. And about 2 months into their relationship, Helg is like, I've got to go to America. Switzerland wants me to go there for government business.
Oh yeah, he works at government.
Okay, makes sense. It sounded secretive, but I'm sure it sounded logical. You know, Susanne strikes me as a logical person. So he goes to America, and when he gets back, something felt wrong. You know? And she's like, what's going on? What's on your mind? You seem stressed. Nothing. Don't worry about it. Out of concern, Susanne keeps pressing, and finally Helg confesses. Last time I went to America, I was in Miami, and I got into this car accident. There was another car involved, and the driver was the young daughter of one of the most powerful men in Miami. Ties with the mafia. Incredibly dangerous, not just politically, but financially and influentially. Dangerously powerful. The little girl may never walk again. The dad told me that I was a dead man walking unless I paid him $14 million. Helga mentioned that he took out nearly $3 million by selling all of his assets, but he was stressed on where to get the other $11 million. Now, there was no way that a bank would just loan him that, especially after he just sold off his assets and without a good reason. Susanne thought it was over, and she decided she loved this man a lot. She could not give him the money. She could give him the money not only to save his life, but to give him some peace of mind. His life depended on it, right? And like, before you say, Suzanne's such a whipped girl, like, why is she so rich and dumb? I don't know, $11 million to someone worth $25 billion? Is that, like, how much is that to a normal person?
Okay, just putting that into perspective.
Even a billion.
No, check this out.
Yeah.
If your net worth is $25,000, it will be $11 to you.
Wait, excuse me?
In contrast, if you have $25,000 net worth and more, that's like $11 you're
Wait, are
giving
you
away.
sure it's $11?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
So it's
Are you
nothing.
sure? That sounds insane.
I'm sure that
my
is
It
the
doesn't
God.
sound
number.
right, but I'm pretty sure it's right.
That is right. Yes.
That's great.
That's the power of a billionaire. They can do whatever. They have infinite amount of money. That's how much it is. $11 to 25,000 make no difference. That's what 11 million to 25 billion means. She is the number what? 25th?
56.
56th richest woman in the
So
world.
she's basically buying Chipotle for him.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God.
Of course, if your boyfriend asks for $11, you'll give him $11.
Dang.
Keep the change. So she gave him $11. And September 11, 2007, Suzanne gave him an 88-pound of cash with more than $10 million in there. A suitcase, 88-pound suitcase. Helg kissed her on the cheek and told her he would fly to America immediately to pay the mafia. He never mentioned how he was going to get that much cash on a commercial flight. But she probably didn't even register. She was like, who flies commercial?
She didn't know how airplane works.
Yeah, she probably has no idea.
She probably never wrote it.
Yeah, she
No,
probably
of
has
course not.
no idea. Yeah.
Like, come on.
And she thought, okay, problem solved. But it wasn't. When Helg came back, there was more trouble. I guess his brush with death made him feel grateful for the love that he had found in Suzanne. Or maybe he was just falling for Suzanne and wanted a bigger commitment. Because Helg kept pressuring Suzanne to divorce her husband and invest $367 million into a trust fund to prove her commitment to him.
So he's asking about $368
Sounds a little
now.
sus.
Yeah. And he was totally committed to her, so can she show that same level of commitment? Now, contrary to what you might believe after the $11 million in a suitcase incident, $11 million to Suzanne wasn't a lot. But $360 is kind of a lot, okay?
I mean, compared to...
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so she's like, $367 million? I'm not dumb, okay? She's like, I'm not a fool. She had a husband. She had 3 kids. She was worth billions. She was a winner in life. Okay, she was a birthright winner. She was the heiress of the BMW group and the richest woman in Germany. She wasn't going to let go of all of that. For what? This young man who wants $360? She immediately starts to withdraw from him. And it went from a fling that she enjoyed to him pressuring her to uproot her entire life. And I think that really gave her the ick. I'm going to be honest with you. But it wasn't going to be easy now, was it? Because Susanne later got a package in the mail. I mean, straight out of a movie blackmail scene. Inside the package were pictures of her naked and a video clip of her having adult time with Helg in the hotel room. He was secretly recording it.
That's illegal though.
Yeah, recording not only their conversations, but all their sexual activities. Everything. I mean, it was a setup from the get-go. Suzanne had no idea what to do. The package didn't come with any instructions or a letter or anything, and within a few days, Suzanne gets a call from Helg. He wants $62 million, or he's going to send everything to the media, to the BMW group, and to her husband. Immediately, Suzanne put her CEO pants on and realized what the was going on. Helg was a scammer. He had set this up from the get-go. She knew that she had to stall. She had to stall to figure out what to do with a level-headed mind. But let's be real. Who the hell wouldn't be freaking out right now? So while Suzanne is thinking about, okay, her next move, Helg chickened out a bit and reduced the extortion amount to $18 million. So $18, okay? And I know that she had it, okay? Everyone knew that she had it, and it would be so easy to just give him exactly, what he wants. He gave her 1 month to pay it, or else all hell would break loose. Listen, $18 to keep your reputation. Would you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Not Suzanne. Wow. Suzanne was also smart. What's to stop him from trying to blackmail her again?
That is true.
When the money runs out. And just the principle of being blackmailed, she was very upset. Like, the idea of being pushed over by this guy disgusted her. Think about it. This woman doesn't get pushed over by anyone.
Yeah, and also, it sounded like, okay, sorry, cut you off. It sounded like she's already really careful.
Yeah.
She's probably lived her whole life super cautious. She doesn't tell people who she is. She's super low-key. And then she got scammed by the worst possible... This is exactly what she don't want to.
Yeah, she grew up hating.
Yeah, get scammed, they get taken advantage or get lied to.
Doesn't he work at government though?
He doesn't. He lied.
Oh, so that was a lie.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. So she's over it. Suzanne fell into a deep depression. She felt cheated of money, sex, trust. She felt so much guilt and disgust. She felt stupid. And everything was a trap. I mean, she realized that now. Everything was a carefully designed trap for her. So after struggling, Suzanne decides to go to the police instead. But before she did, she tells her husband.
Wow.
And he was devastated. He stood by her while she cooperated with the police, and the police wanted her to call Helg, meet up with him under the fake pretense that she was going to hand over $18 million in cash. But instead, police were waiting for him, and he was promptly arrested. And Suzanne knew it was bad, but it was really bad. Some people even started speculating that Helg had a bigger motive, a multi-generational revenge plot. He was finally getting revenge against Suzanne's family. That was the theory that people would even think, because why? Let's talk about Helg Skarby. Helg was born Helg Rasak, and he was born in Zurich, Switzerland, which he really wasn't born into a bad family. Switzerland is known to be a pretty prosperous place, His dad was a senior manager at a multinational company. Wow. Helg went to some of the best schools in Switzerland, and later he worked as a lawyer and a bank clerk. And yes, he did speak 6 languages: English, French, German, Spanish, Portuguese, and even Italian. So the guy was highly educated, came from an amazing background. I mean, he really could have achieved a lot in life, but he was super impatient. He just felt like money was too slow. He wanted to make everything faster. Wow. I mean, he's attractive. He speaks so many goddamn languages. Why shouldn't he be rich? There were so many rich people that can't even do half of what he does. And he's like, I could keep doing this, work my way to the top of a company and make some good money, or I could shake my ass for a paycheck. Which nothing's wrong with that, but that's what he did. He starts working all over Europe as an escort, mainly being booked by rich, older, single women. I'm talking women in their 60s, their 70s. He's in his 20s. But even that wasn't enough for him. So he wanted, he wanted more of this life. And this is the part where I completely start disagreeing with this guy. He starts blackmailing his clients. Yeah, This was his go-to.
Wow.
He would go to resorts, casinos where rich older women would hang out, and he would single one out, target her, never approach her immediately. He would find out who she is, what her family does, her likes, her dislikes, her personal habits, and then he would engineer a chance encounter, literally like the ones out of the movies.
Like the one you just told.
Yes.
So
like
I,
one at
I
the
like
resort.
your book.
Oh, so like flirting.
Yeah, and he
but
would
like super smooth.
spontaneous. And then, these women, they feel like, oh my God, this is like crazy. This is literally a sign from above that we're supposed to be in each other's lives.
Wow.
See, there are just these
just
certain
can't-
type of people. They're
Trust
opportunists.
issues.
Yeah.
They're opportunists. They're so smart. Like they're on the border of being a genius or a scam artist.
Yeah.
And they choose to be a scam artist.
But he has so many
Exactly.
qualities.
Exactly.
I mean, he can easily make
Yeah.
money.
They feel like they're above law almost. They can get away with it.
So just working a regular job and making regular money.
slow.
It's kind of like Wolf of Wall Street.
Kind of.
Yeah, except he's more of like a cokehead than a smarty pants, I would say. Yeah, so he starts scamming these women, does exactly what he did to Suzanne, but most of the time it was on a much smaller scale because how many billionaires are really out there, right? And so over 10 years, Helg was able to scam $12.5 million out of 10 victims. One of them being a Swiss countess named Verena. She was a full 50 years older than him, nearly 90 years old at this point. But what she lacked in youth, I guess she made up for it with a lot of money. She inherited her husband's huge fortune and a castle, and she would bounce from hotel to hotel. Literally, she would drop like 10 grand a night on a hotel room. And she would stay in this hotel for months at a time.
I have to say though, if you're 90 years old and you have all these money left, just to
do
spend
everything.
it all
Just do
is
everything.
gonna be hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you don't know when you're
'Cause you're
gonna
tired?
die. Like you only have you don't know when you're dead. What did they say? The worst thing is like you run out of money before you die. The second worst thing is like you die before you run out of your money or something. Just like
It's like a
you
saying.
didn't spend all your money before you died. So it's like all those money goes to not
Waste.
waste or goes to someone
Or
else now. You didn't
next
spend it all.
generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I think if you're 90 and you have all this money, then just
spend it.
call me up, you know?
Call me up, you'll shake your ass for a bag.
I'll shake my ass.
So I don't think he slept with her. Maybe he did, but she said he was more like a son to her. She doesn't have any kids.
Yeah,
She has
exactly.
no kids. Yeah.
She's gotta spend it all.
And so she felt like this was her kid. Yeah, and he really buttered her up. He was like, my dad died when I was young.
also,
He's like crying.
Another thing I
Yeah.
thought was fascinating is like learn from like real estate is be nice to your neighbors that are super old
Yeah.
because I'm sorry, it's kind of dark.
Oh wait, I think I know why.
Why?
Because if they pass away
Uh-huh.
or insurance or something, is it like life insurance?
No, insurance or sometimes like let's say they don't have like kids or something. A lot of times like let's say you are helping them or keeping them company for the last year, they may just like, okay, here, I'll give all my money or this house or this
the neighbor.
to you.
Oh my god.
It's actually more common than you think. Yeah.
So there's more grandparents with no kids.
It's not about no kids, too. I heard stories of like
Or their
really
kids
bad
don't-
relationships. Yeah.
So it's like one kid that never visit them versus you that's constantly helping them.
And you have nothing to gain.
Yeah, you're not their kids.
Yeah. But their kids.
So
have
they
stuff
might
to
just
gain.
boom, here you go. How's Susan?
Yeah, okay. So he did the auto scam on the Countess too, and it worked. She paid
What did he do?
the whole. I was in a
car
car
accident.
accident in Miami, and the mafia's daughter was dead, and so the mafia boss is like out for cold blood.
So
She
that
gave
was-
several $million in exchange for his life. It's weird, right?
But if he went to jail, where's the file, the data? Like that should have been deleted, right? The police should have deleted it, right?
He didn't go to jail.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah, just in a car accident. Like a.
No, she's
Yeah.
talking about this 90-year-old.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about back to.
Oh,
Susan.
no. So this was before Suzanne.
Okay.
He was scamming this 90-year-old. And the only reason that he was caught was because the Countess called her friend and was like, oh my God, let me just tell you the most heartbreaking thing happened. Told the whole auto story and how she gave him several $1 million because she felt bad. And her friend was like, are you f***ing insane? You're getting scammed. So they freaked out. They forced the Countess to file a police report, and the police were able to investigate, and they found out that Helg's parents were both alive and well, indicating that he's a lying butthole, and well, he also never went to the US. He never left Switzerland.
He probably went to Starbucks or something.
Yeah. So Helg was forced to return all the money that he just got from the Countess, and because he technically gave back the money, they only gave him 6 months probation. A lot of people think that at this point, Helg had a taste of the good life. And now he was in too deep. That's a problem with getting a taste of the good life.
Like
You
too
can't go
greedy.
back. Can't go back. There was no reeling it in no more for him. He was getting out of control. There was, no one too sweet, too old, too nice that couldn't be scammed. Literally nothing was off the table, even his own sexuality. Now, I don't know. Maybe Helg was bisexual, but a lot of people believe that he wasn't. He was just down to do anything for a price. He started sleeping with and then later blackmailing a 64-year-old man who, I don't know if he was out, but he secretly filmed their sex tapes. And the old man paid him $2 million in order to stop the extortion.
Wow.
But that's the thing, how can you trust again that he'll delete it?
But he was so desperate.
yeah.
But that wasn't enough for him. He was like, that's not enough money. So he aimed higher, and he saw Susanne at the resort one day, and it was his lucky break.
How does he know
I know.
that Susanne is that rich? When you see a lady sitting there,
Because no one knew, right? Except the BMW people.
yeah, how did he know to target her?
It's weird.
That's weird.
So
40-year-old woman.
maybe he was able to find out her name by paying an employee under the table at the resort.
And then just
Google her
it.
name.
Yeah.
But
That's
for
true.
Susan too, though, how would she know? How would he know
What do you mean?
how rich she was?
Google her
Google.
name.
So he
Yeah.
starts stalking her, investigating her, finding out her interests through any interviews that he could find online. He saw what books she was reading, started skimming through the books real quick, and finally he saw the chance to talk to her at the pool, and he took it, pretending that it was just a crazy chance meeting. And from there, they
How does he have this confidence?
yeah.
Wouldn't you kind of sweat or something?
Yeah, nope. And they would meet at hotels to have sex, and he would go there to, put in recording devices in the room first so that he could get everything on camera. Helg was caught in the end, and he said, yeah, of course I targeted her. She was the BMW heir, but also because, other things. And people are like, ooh, maybe revenge. Okay, so let me explain. Suzanne's father was a founder of an industrial empire that included BMW and Altana, right? And he and his dad also worked very closely with Hitler. They made military uniforms for Hitler. That's how they made their first fortune. And then later, it said that her family invested in companies that helped Hitler make missiles and tanks. And after the war, he was so filthy rich, it was easy for him to create more money with his already accumulated wealth that was gathered
From the war. Yeah.
from war crimes, essentially. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The family, the grandfather, was really close to Hitler. He was appointed a war economic affairs consultant at one point. So they were buds for sure. It wasn't just I was forced into this at gunpoint. He profited a lot. It's also said that one of his factories was employing Jewish victims who were from concentration camps. Now, there are rumors that Helg's grandfather was one of those victims, and that he was forced to work in one of the factories and he was tortured. And, meanwhile, her grandfather was profiting and making billions. Now, Helg never confirmed this story. I don't know if he ever denied it, but it's just been kind of floating in the air. It's just a speculation. We don't really have any hard evidence because, war is not really a place where you can get evidence like that, but we don't know.
But how can you trust him again?
I don't think it was even from him.
Oh.
I think it was like maybe family members who came out. And I don't think they were trying to get his sentence reduced because from my knowledge, they never used this in court. They never were like, oh, they weren't trying to guilt trip the judge or anyone to be like, oh, go easy on him. He's just very traumatized. It's just kind of also this could be a made up story because a lot of people have a lot of beef with the family because of, how they made their money. And sure, the family has expressed regret after the war that they were never really held accountable. So the rumors start that Helg was blackmailing Susanne to get money, yes, but also to avenge his grandfather. Now, when you put it like that, it's really hard to have an opinion, I just want to make it clear, there's no evidence, at least not that I've seen, that Helg's grandfather was a Holocaust victim. And that's not to say that he wasn't, but I just don't know how strong the ties are on this one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it just seems like his motive is really clear from the get-go.
Money.
Well,
It's always money.
Yes.
His whole life is about
Yeah.
scamming people for money.
I think if he didn't have other victims before Suzanne, maybe I would believe the theory more. I think with Suzanne, maybe it's true. It could have been both. He could have really been after money, and this was how he was justifying it, was to say, well, it's war money anyway. It's blood money. So I don't know. And I do want to say, I don't know how Suzanne feels about anything that her family did. I don't know because she's a very private person. But just on a other front, she got wrecked in the media after this.
Because of the Hitler
Because
thing?
of her gender.
Wait, what?
What?
So it was phrased in media as a male CEO would never fall for a scam like this, and pretty much calling her emotional and gullible and not fit to be in charge of a company.
Bro.
They were literally undermining everything that she'd ever done just because she had fallen for a love scam.
What? What do you mean Mel would never fall for that? I don't understand.
Like just pretty much saying CEO men would never fall for this. And I'm like,
I'm pretty sure we can find a few of those.
yeah, I'm pretty sure we can find pretty much every one of them, you know. And Suzanne was a bad bitch. Like during his court sentencing, a lot of his prior victims, they were all either married or high profile people, so they didn't want to show up. Suzanne was the only witness present on the day of sentencing. And because of her, more than 200 journalists from around the world came and they documented the scandal. Helg looks like this, by the way, you know. He's not bad. He's tall, well-mannered. He looks educated. He honestly looks like a banker. He looks like a lawyer. He confessed to his guilt. He didn't defend himself. He just apologized. But also in the same breath, he refused to give up any of the $10 million that he extorted out of Suzanne. In fact, he didn't even explain what he did with the money, and his attorney argued that it was a gift from Suzanne, voluntarily given by Suzanne, and it was not fraudulent. And on March 9th of 2009, the court finally sentenced him to 6 years in prison, which is half the maximum sentence. He could have gotten 12, but they gave him 6. And Suzanne returned to her life. She was forgiven by her husband, and it was a huge shock in all of Germany. Yeah, for sure. You know, I say that she's pretty brave for reporting him. She could have literally just paid off the money because it would have been nothing to her. And she said, you know, the thing is, you're a victim now. So now you have to protect yourself. And I'm protecting myself in the name of all the women in my family and so many other women. This is the only chance for all of this to end. And I'm glad I did it.
So she's a little bit had backlash, but she's good.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
still a CFO.
Yeah, I think she still is the CEO, yeah. Of BMW Germany. So she went back to her life, and for a while, everything seemed to be going back to normal. And then in 2018, her and her husband divorced after 28 years of marriage.
Damn, scamming
He
billionaires.
really effed his life.
Yeah, but look at him right now.
He was a banker.
Yeah, but look at him right now. He's gonna get out of jail. He's probably already out by now.
Like,
6
who,
years, yeah.
in 6 years, who makes like $12 million?
Because he still kept the $12 million from her from the first
Like
time.
11 to 12 million.
Oh, so,
11.
so everything was gone, but he still had that 12 million?
Yeah,
Holy sh!
he kept the 12 million.
And this should be, what, back in like 2017?
Yeah, I
No,
mean,
after
he's
6
out
years?
with like...
No, 2013.
So he's in jail for 6 years. And I think he's in jail in Switzerland. And I don't know about jail in Switzerland.
I bet it's pretty.
I feel like it sounds
like
pleasant.
clean.
I don't know if he's in jail in Germany or Switzerland. I don't know. I gotta check. But if he's in jail in Switzerland, I think he'll be okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then he gets out, 6 years,
Yeah.
made like $12 million. That's
Yeah.
insane. I don't know if he could do that being a banker.
But now, but his name is everywhere though. He can't really apply to jobs or anything, right?
I don't think he wants a job. I
Yeah.
think he's good. He can live off $12 million.
For the rest of his
Okay.
life, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's not like young. It's not like he's like 5.
Yeah.
And even then, $12 million, yeah, you could live the rest of your life.
Jeez.
What the just happened? You know, I, like as a woman, I have sympathy for Suzanne because she got dragged in the media. It's really hard to have sympathy for billionaires, you know? It's really hard. I feel like my sympathy level is like all over the place with everyone. And then I'm like, okay, this one,
Yeah, it's hard because, you
Yeah.
know, she cheated too.
I don't really need
And then
to.
she got blackmailed. So it's like, it's not that bad. I mean, come
Yeah.
on. Like,
That's it for today's story.
Wow.
So next time you're reading a book by the pool at a resort,
Just don't talk to anyone.
don't trust NoHo. They come up to you, oh, what book are you reading? Just ignore them. Okay, just say like.
Just be like, I only have $11.
Yeah. Yeah. My net worth is $11. And like, is this White Lotus 3? I'm not trying to die. That's it for today's video. Let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts? And make sure to check out Casetify, linked in the description. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.